Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here in our MVP workshop. I appreciate the opportunity that Miguel provided for me to be able to share with you one of my core values as a human being and also as a leader, and that is about gratitude that really leads to positivity. Like Shane said, Miguel said, my name is Christine Sakdalan, and I am the CEO and one of the co-founders of MVP. But also my career has been in pharmaceutical, in the healthcare industry for over 30 years. Currently, I'm at Boehringer Ingelheim, and I'm the head of our mental health business unit, where I get to really serve and build a team to make sure that we are dealing with one of the biggest crises here in America, which is mental health. So really a privilege to be able to have a job that also aligns with my personal mission, because mental health is certainly very personal for me and my family. So today I wanted to share with you guys really a workshop, and hopefully, like Miguel said, that it becomes interactive. It really is the power of gratitude and positivity in leadership. But before we get started, one of the things that I thought we would do was do a bit of a reflection, especially with what's going on today. When you woke up, just a quick question, maybe one or two people, when you woke up today and saw, smelled, and felt the poor air quality, what did you think of? And what did you say to yourself or to others as soon as you saw the weather and the air quality that we were having? When I woke up, I immediately thought, oh my God, it looks so ugly outside. And how am I supposed to turn the AC on inside the house when all that bad air was going to come in? And I quickly realized, I was actually going to talk about positivity and gratitude. And so, how dare I have this negative thought? And I thought to myself, this is really what it's all about, right? It's all about, we're never going to have any perfect days. And today's certainly not one of them. But the trick is, how do we make sure that when we're thinking about a situation, right, that we're actually thinking about what we get to do versus what we have to do? And in this case for today, right, we get to be inside. If, for those of us who, have homes, and, we have homes, right? We get to be inside, or we get to be in the safe space of, the safety of our homes. And I think that's a really different way of thinking about negative situations in life. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. How do we become really good, influential leaders? And how do we become really good and influential people in general when we focus on positivity and gratitude? And what I wanted to do was share, a few people that I captured on, on the web in terms of who are the positive and grateful people that we know today, right? So you have people like Oprah, who says, if you look at what you have in life, you'll always have more. If you look at what you don't have in life, you'll never have enough. And how true is that, right? So similar to what Bob Marley says, the truth is that everyone is going to hurt you. You just got to find the ones worth suffering for. And you have also people like Nelson Mandela, right, who, talks about hate and who talks about love. And what do we choose, right? So these are just people that have been deemed as positive and grateful people. There's also one author, I don't know if you know him, his name is John Gordon. He's one of my favorite authors. He talks about positive leadership. And he talks about your optimism today will determine your level of success of tomorrow. He also says the best legacy you could leave is not some building that is named after you or a piece of jewelry, but rather a world that has been impacted and touched by your presence, your joy, and your positive actions. So these are just examples of people that I saw, and I'm sure, even in your own circle, of people who are positive and grateful in general. And just think about how successful and how influential they are in your world. So one of the things that I also wanted to share with you is, this isn't just about fluff, right? Positivity and gratitude is not just about a mindset. It's not just about, a subjective thing, right? It is actually researched. And in positive psychology research, gratitude is strongly and consistently associated with greater happiness. Gratitude helps people feel more positive emotions, relish good experiences, improve their health, deal with adversity, and build strong relationships. And people who feel and express gratitude in multiple ways are the ones that are, most successful. The other thing that I wanted to share is that the gratitude is strongly related to well-being. And again, this is data that is available out there. The positive effects of experiencing and expressing gratitude are endless, right? And it's up to you, up to all of us as individuals to control that. It's also been found to be beneficially associated with social well-being, emotional well-being, and psychological well-being. And it's no surprise, right, that gratitude, because it's so important, it becomes a predictor of our well-being and how our life outcomes are and how desirable things are in our life. And again, nothing is perfect in life, but it is about your attitude. And we also know that, gratitude and positivity has this domino effect. It has that influence, right? And if a person experiences gratitude, they're more likely to recognize and help others and then later reciprocate. And it just becomes this this influence of having other people around you do the same thing. And again, notice those things in life where when you're positive, more people are positive around you. When you're grateful, more people are grateful around you as well. And so one of the things that that I just wanted to share, and this again, I know for a fact, and I've seen it, I've experienced it in my own career, that there is true power in leadership when you are grateful and positive. And by being focused on these two attributes in life, we can be more effective, we can be more influential, more impactful in any role that we have, especially in leadership roles. And why is that? It's because you become more magnetic, you become more authentic, and you become, just more approachable, really, when you show up this way. And I've noticed that all of this positivity and gratefulness, it just begets more positivity and more gratefulness. So I think it's something, for all of you who are young in your careers, you have to think about what are these kinds of traits and what are these attitudes that you really want to set for yourself, so that when you become people leaders, right, you have these values as well. And so one of the things that I just wanted to share is, how do we do this, right? Again, this isn't just fluff. There's a discipline to it. And what I wanted to share with you are 3 secrets or 3 disciplines to living a life of positivity and gratitude. So what are those 3? It's giving thanks, it's practicing positivity, and finding joy in all circumstances, in all situations. Not easy, right? It's a mindset. It's very purposeful. It's something that I do for myself. And I'll share with you how I practice these things, and some tips, but also maybe later on in the workshop, we can talk about how else can we do this together. So give thanks, right? So what does this mean, right? Gratitude turns what little you have into abundance. Gratitude is so much more than saying thank you, but it also changes your perspective of your world. When we're thankful for even the little things in life, when we think about the things that we have, just like Oprah said, versus the things that we don't have, that is a form of giving thanks. It's looking at the different aspects of our lives, the people around us, that allow for us to be who we are, that allow for our lives to be easier, right? What are some of those things that you can give thanks for? I think it's something that we neglect, perhaps. We kind of go into our day, just like what I did today, right? I woke up and I didn't practice this. Immediately I had a negative thought about the weather, about the air quality, instead of giving thanks to say, wow, I actually have a home that I could be safe in, versus focusing on what was the negative in my life today. I actually do this, through a gratitude journal. I actually practice this on a daily basis. And it doesn't have to be a long thing. For you guys, I just would encourage you to think about ways where you can always give thanks, whether it's verbal, whether it's in your mind or in your heart, or just writing things down, right? Those are just practices that become habits that, again, fuel this thankfulness in your heart, but also fuel that positivity and that gratitude. So the other one is practicing positivity. Here it says, positive person is optimistic. It sees the good in life, the joy in simple things. One who is content and understands that even though things may not be under their control, they're still able to provide empowering perspectives. Now, this is not easy, right? Because again, things are never perfect in our world, in our everyday lives. But again, it's about being purposeful in terms of what is the positive in any negative situation? What is the positive that you can practice in terms of your mindset that controls the way that your attitude is for the rest of the day? And so when we think about the positive person, think for a moment, what are the qualities in that person that you think you want to emulate? What are some of those things that you want to make sure that you're thinking about and finding the joy in those simple things that, that we were talking about earlier? And again, all of these are linked together, right? When we're giving thanks, like I said, what you're doing is you're then practicing that positivity. You're practicing focusing yourself on the things that are positive and the things that are giving you joy instead of things that are driving you down. And why is this important in leadership, right? If you think about your own bosses or your own leaders or the people that are around you that are influencing you, do you want to follow negative people? Not really, right? Who you want to follow are people who are positive and who have this aura about them that is very magnetic. And that's very, very empowering when you follow people who are quite positive. So the third thing is finding joy in all circumstances. And again, joy is different from happiness. Note that I don't talk about happiness here, right? Because happiness is circumstantial. And yes, there are going to be moments where we're not very happy. We're actually sad, but it doesn't mean that you can't give thanks, that you can't be positive, and that you can't find joy. And so, here I would challenge us that the real joy in life, right, comes from finding your true purpose and aligning it to what you want to do every single day. And as young people who are, again, early in your careers, think about the things that you want to do that will generate that long lasting and generational impact. Things that will give you joy, things that that will allow you to be able to provide impact to others and change people's lives. What is that true purpose that you want to, really align with, right? And Serene and Kashane and Miguel, we all are part of MVP, and so are you. But as co-founders and as board members of MVP, I can speak, for my own self that this is a purpose-driven mission for me, right? I believe very much in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And that's one of the reasons why we built MVP, is because it gives us that true purpose. It aligns with what we believe in. And I personally find joy in doing this. My job today in mental health, leading the mental health business unit of Boehringer Ingelheim, I have joy doing that. It's not always a happy time, right? It's not a perfect day every day, but I find joy because I know that I am driving impact and I know that I am changing people's lives. So think about those kinds of roles. Think about the things that you are aligning with, the activities that you align yourself with. Is it giving you joy? Is it giving you that purpose? Because if it is not, then maybe it's not something, that you want to stay in for a long time. And again, finding joy in everything you choose to do, every job, every relationship, your home life, it is your responsibility to love it. But if you don't love it, then go change it, right? We have that power. And I think that there is that power in, in choosing to be thankful, in choosing to practice positivity, But most importantly, it's choosing joy and choosing where you align the most, so that you have that purpose in your life. So those are the three, secrets that I wanted to share with you. But in terms of leadership, right? These are the things that I also want to encourage you guys to think about, is also make sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive and grateful people, no matter what comes your way. Um, and once you feel that there are people who are toxic, right, and who are not really helping you to be more positive and to be more grateful as an individual, then maybe they're not the right people to be around. So I'll just give an example, right, of some of these kinds of people. So think about the mentors that you have. Think about your friends, right? Think about the people that you choose to surround yourself with. Make sure that they encourage you not to quit when life gets tough. Make sure that they're adding value to your life, right? Make sure that they're also encouraging positive thinking patterns. If they're always negative and they stay in the past and they stay in that negative space, maybe they're not the best people that you should be hanging around with. Humor, I think, is a great aspect to this as well. Think about people who make you laugh, people who are not afraid to ask for help because it means they're humble, right? People who are also focused on developing others. I think these are the types of people and mentors that you want to keep in your circle. So it's not just about your own discipline of giving thanks, practicing positivity, and finding joy, but it's also being very, very purposeful and disciplined in making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who can help you see the possibilities and who will empower you and ultimately help to develop you and not bring you down. And so one of the things that again is important for us to think about is, making sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who believe in you and your dreams, encourage your ideas, those who support your ambitions and bring out the best in you. And this seems so simple, right? But it's not. I think we all know that. I think we can get easily entangled with negativity. We can get easily entangled in our own way. And sometimes, when, there's negativity that is in conversations, we tend to join that, right? We tend to be a part of that. And sometimes we even start it. We even initiate, those negative conversations. But it does take discipline. But the other thing that I will say is it takes accountability, right? Find accountability partners, find people who are going to help you turn those negative situations into things that allow you, again, to be a more empowered individual. So in summary, again, these are the things that, I hope we can practice each and every day. One of the things I wanted to show you, I don't know if you could see this, but this is can you see this? It's a book called the 5-minute gratitude journal. I do this every day, right? And they're, simple questions. It's things that, sometimes we don't think about, and do what works for you. I'm just sharing with you what works for me. And it does make me a better leader. It makes me a better human being overall, but it keeps me grounded. And I think that one of the things that I'll just, end with in terms of the tips and tricks is remembering that you will never have a perfect day in an imperfect world, but you can choose to have that perfect attitude, right? We can control our attitude. We cannot control our circumstances all the time. And again, I'm not saying that we should always be laughing and smiling. That's not realistic. We also have to allow ourselves to feel whatever emotions we have. But at the same time, if we are able to control and think about our purpose and being very, very disciplined about, again, giving thanks, practicing positivity, and finding joy in all circumstances, and doing things that allow you to be surrounded with the right people, I think that's really the keys to, being a powerful leader. One last thing I'll share with you is, and this is from John Gordon's book, as a leader, right, and I lead a pretty large team, this is very critical for me to always remember that positive leaders drive positive cultures in organizations. Positive leaders also create and share a positive vision. They lead with optimism, and positivity, and they're the ones that confront, transform, and remove negativity in any organization. But at the same time, right, these leaders are the ones who create united and connected teams. And they build relationships, right? And they pursue excellence. They lead with purpose. That word purpose is so critical, because purpose, it means that you are being intentional and you're being disciplined. And so these are the kinds of leaders, right, that I hope we all become, that all of you become. And hopefully MVP can be a part of that journey for you, because you are the future. You are the future leaders of these organizations that are going to thrive, and that are going to really make a difference in this world. And I think it's important to have positive and grateful leaders. So with that, I wanted to, maybe stop for some questions and comments before we get into, the activity that I've set for all of us today.